Good evening and welcome. Tonight's story takes you up the last narrow stair of the inn to the little room tucked right under the roof, where the ceiling slopes down low and the rain runs over the slates a handbreadth above your head. It is a small room and a snug one, and tonight it is yours. There is nothing to do here now but rest. If sleep comes to you early, before the story is over, let it come. You do not need to follow the words to the end. They are only here to keep you company while you drift, and they will go on softly whether you hear them or not. Settle in now. Let the bed take your weight. Let your shoulders settle down into the warmth. Before the story begins, let yourself settle. There is nothing you need to do with your body except let it be heavy. The bed is holding you. You do not need to help. Take a slow breath in, through your nose, gentle and unhurried. Hold it for a moment, soft at the top, and let it go. Slowly, all the way out, a little longer than the breath that came in. Again, breathe in, easy and low, the way you breathe when no one is watching. And out, long and slow, letting your shoulders sink as the breath leaves. One more. In, gently, and out slowly. And as the breath goes, let your jaw soften, let your hands uncurl, let the weight of the day drain down through the mattress and away. Now let your breathing find its own pace. You do not need to guide it anymore. It knows what to do. It has always known. Every breath from here is one step further into rest. You are lying in the room under the eaves, near the top of the old inn, where the roof comes down to meet the floor. The bed is set beneath the slope of the ceiling, in the lowest, snuggest corner, the way beds are always set in rooms like this. And above you, close above you, the rain is falling on the slates. It is a soft rain and a steady one. It has been falling since before you came up the stair, and it will go on falling long after you have fallen asleep. There is no haste in it. It does not come in gusts or sheets. It simply falls, patient and even, over the whole roof of the inn, and over this small corner of roof most of all. The slates are a handbreadth above your face. You could not quite reach them if you tried, and you do not try. You only know they are there, close in the dark, sloping away from the wall, and that the rain is running over them, and that you are warm and dry beneath. The ceiling slopes from somewhere above your pillow down to the floor on the far side of the bed. Where it is highest you might sit up. Where it is lowest you could rest your hand flat against it. The plaster is old and a little uneven, washed pale by years of lamplight, and the great beam that carries the roof runs across it, dark and smooth, close enough to see in the low light. You feel the smallness of the room around you like a held breath. It is not a grand room. It was never meant to be. It is the room at the very top, where the roof was given over to one narrow bed and one small window for the traveler who came late and asked for nothing more than a dry place to lie down. Tonight that traveler is you. The lamp on the little shelf burns low. It is turned right down, no more than a bead of warm light, and it throws the slope of the ceiling into soft gold and lets the corners stay dark. You do not need it bright. You only need to know it is there, that small steady flame on its wick, leaning not at all, sitting easy in its glass. The shelf that holds the lamp is a plain one, a single board fixed to the wall by the head of the bed, worn pale along its front edge where hands have set things down and taken them up again over many years. There is room on it for the lamp, and for a folded square of cloth, and for nothing much else. The inn does not ask its high rooms to hold a great deal. It asks them only to be dry and warm and quiet, and this one is all three. Beside the lamp, on the worn board, there is a small box of matches. Should you want the light a little higher, you do not want it higher. You let it stay just as it is, that low bead of gold, and you let your eyes rest on the way it warms the underside of the slope, the way it gathers in the hollows of the old plaster and pools there, soft and unmoving. The light does not reach the far corners, and that is as it should be. The low triangle of dark where the ceiling meets the boards stays dark and full and restful, like the shadowed back of a deep cupboard, like the inside of a folded hand. You are glad of the dark there. It is a kept dark, a sheltered dark, with nothing in it but the quiet of the room. There is a small dormer window set into the slope of the roof, low down, near the foot of the bed. It is a little window with old wavering glass, and the rain runs down it in slow threads. Beyond it the night is dark and gray and wet, and you cannot see far, only the nearest edge of the roof below and the soft blur of the rain. You watch the threads of water move down the glass. They gather and run and pause and run again, each one finding its own slow way down. There is nothing to follow in them, nothing to count. You only let your eyes rest on the wet glass and the gray beyond it, and you feel how far away the night is, and how near you are to the warm. The glass itself is old. The way the glass in high rooms is old, faintly green at the edges, bowed and rippled so that the wet night beyond it bends and softens as it passes through. Where a thread of rain runs down the outside, the light of the low lamp catches in it for a moment, a thin bright line moving on the dark, and then it is gone down out of sight, and another comes after it, slow and slow. The window holds a little draught, the smallest cool breath at the edge of the frame, and it carries the smell of the rain into you, wet slate and wet stone and the clean cold green of a country night. It is a good smell to breathe lying down. You draw it in, and you let it go. The window has a small iron catch, a little curl of black metal worn smooth and a touch shiny where fingers have turned it shut against the weather. It is shut now. It was shut for you before you came up, turned down snug into its keep, so that the night stays out where it belongs and only that one thin breath of cool air finds its way past the frame. You need not touch it. It is done and well done, and it holds. There is a low sill beneath the window, painted long ago, the paint gone soft and rounded at the edges where many hands have rested. A small candle stub sits there, unlit, and a little pewter cup, and nothing else. The inn does not crowd these high rooms. It gives you a window and a sill, and the rain, and trusts that to be enough. And it is. The candle stub is gray and a little bent, burned down by some traveler before you, and left for the next, and the pewter cup beside it has gone soft and dull with age, the way pewter does, a low gray gleam in the low light, with the faintest ring worn round its lip. You will not need the cup tonight, nor the candle. You only let your eyes pass over them and move on, the way you pass a quiet hand over things set neatly on a shelf, touching nothing, leaving all as it is. The floorboards run away from the bed towards the slope, wide old boards worn smooth, with a small woolen rug laid down beside where your feet would meet the floor. You do not need to put your feet to the floor tonight. You only know the rug is there, soft and waiting, the way you know the spare blanket is folded at the foot of the bed, small kindnesses, set within reach, asking nothing. The boards are pale where the years have walked them and darker in the grooves between, and here and there a knot stands proud in the grain, rubbed glossy by long use. They do not creak under the still room. They lie quiet, settled long ago into their places, holding the small weight of the rug and the chair and the bed without a sound. A floor that has carried sleepers for longer than anyone remembers learns at last to be perfectly still. There is one small chair in the room, a plain wooden chair set back against the wall where the ceiling is high enough to stand. Your coat hangs over the back of it, and your other small things rest on the seat, set down for the night, given over to the quiet. You will not need them until morning, and morning is a long way off on the far side of all this rain. For now they keep their own still company in the corner, and you let them be. Against the wall by the door, where a man might stand, there is a small washstand, an old painted thing with a basin set in its top, and a plain white ewer standing in the basin. The ewer holds a little water, drawn earlier and gone cool and still, and a folded cloth lies over the rail at its side. You have no need of it now. You only know it is there, the basin and the ewer and the cloth, set ready in the way of inns, in case a traveler should want to wash the road from his hands before he sleeps. The road is already far from you. You washed it from you long since, or never carried it up at all, and the water sits untouched and quiet in its white ewer in the dark. A small square of looking glass hangs above the washstand, old and spotted at its edges, holding nothing now but the dim of the room and the low beat of the lamp doubled small within it. You do not look into it. It only sits there on its nail, a quiet gray square on the wall, giving the lamplight back softer than it took it, asking nothing, showing nothing that wants to be seen. You let your eyes pass over it the way they pass over all the small kept things of the room, and move on and grow heavier. In the lowest part of the room, where the ceiling comes right down to meet the boards, the shadows gather and stay. It is the snuggest corner of a snug room, that low triangle of dark beneath the slope, and your bed is drawn up close to it. You lie with the roof coming down towards you on one side, near and sheltering, and the open room falling away gently on the other. Above you the slates are laid in their long overlapping rows, each one resting on the one below, all the way up to the ridge of the roof somewhere over your head. You picture them in the dark, gray and wet and shining, the rain running over them in thin, bright sheets and falling away down to the eaves. You are beneath the whole of that dry in the one small pocket of warmth the roof has made for you. Between you and the slates lie the laths and the dark beam and the pale plaster, and the long rafters that climb up to the ridge, set close and even, each one carrying its share of the roof and asking nothing. You cannot see them all in the low light. You only feel the shape of them above you, the close ribbed cradle of the roof, leaning in over the bed, holding the slates in the rain and the night up and away from where you lie. The rain finds the low places on the slates and runs there, and you can hear it move, a soft traveling sound that crosses above you and is gone. Then another run of it, and another, each one passing over the roof and away. None of it stays, none of it gathers anywhere it should not. The old roof carries it all down and out into the night, the way it has done for longer than you can think. At the eaves, far at the edge of the roof below your window, the rain gathers and drips. You can hear it faintly when you listen, a slower, rounder sound than the running on the slates. The patient drip of water finding its way at last to the ground. It is the lowest note in all the rain, and the calmest, and it goes on under everything else. If you listen a while, you can begin to tell the sounds of the rain apart, the way you tell apart the voices in a quiet room. There is the fine, soft hiss of it on the slates straight overhead, the nearest sound of all, There is the gentler run of it down the slope towards the eaves. There is the slow round drip at the edge, and somewhere off to one side fainter, the soft gargle of it gathering in an old lead gutter and going down. None of these sounds wants anything of you. They are only the rain, doing what rain does on an old roof at night, and you lying under it, listening or not as you please. You need not keep them apart for long. They blur back together soon enough into the one great soft sound of rain over the whole roof, and you let them, the way you let the threads on the window run back into the gray. There is nothing to hold. There is nothing to follow. There is only the sound of the rain near and far at once, wrapping the little room round on every side. Beyond the window, close to the wall of the inn, there is an old tree, and the rain falls through it too, a softer and a rounder sound than the rain on the slates, broken up among the leaves and let down again in slow, heavy drops that patter on the roof below and on the broad, wet ground. You cannot see it well through the wavering glass, only a dark and gentle mass that moves the smallest amount when a breath of wind comes through and lets fall a little shower of gathered rain and goes still again. It has stood by the inn longer than the oldest of the roof, and it takes the weather as the roof takes it, easily, and gives it back to the night, and you lie and listen to the two of them together, the slates and the leaves, the near rain and the rain among the boughs. A breath of wind moves through now and again, never enough to trouble anything, only enough to lean the rain a little against the window and set the old tree sighing and let one more soft shower down across the slates. Then it passes, and the rain falls straight again, even and patient, and the room is just as still as it was. The wind comes and goes out in the dark like the slow breathing of the night itself, and the inn does not stir at it, and you do not stir at it, and the warmth under the slope is not touched by it at all. A small sound comes from within the room itself, the soft tick and settle of old wood easing in the warmth, the beam or the boards or the frame of the window finding their rest for the night. It is a friendly sound, a sound of the house settling around you, and it asks nothing of you. You let it come and go. The door of the room is shut, a low plank door with an iron latch, fitted snug under the slope so that you would stoop a little to pass through it. It is latched now, settled in its frame, and behind it the small dark landing waits and the last narrow stair goes down. Nothing will come to that door tonight. The latch holds, the door holds, and you are closed and soft and safe, the way a thing is closed and that is meant to be kept. A wooden peg is set in the back of the door, and an old iron hook beside it, for a coat or a lantern, smooth and dark with handling. They hold nothing tonight but the quiet. You see them dimly when your eyes pass that way, the peg and the hook on the shut door, small fixed things that have hung there longer than you have been alive, and will hang there long after, asking nothing, keeping their place. The pillow holds your head, the blankets hold your shoulders, the roof holds the rain. Everything here is holding something gently, and you're at the heart of it, held most of all, in the lowest, warmest corner under the slope. You think without trying to think of all the nights this little room has kept someone dry. Travelers come in from wet roads, glad of a low door and a made bed. Each of them lying where you lie now, under the same slates, hearing the same rain, drifting off as you are drifting. The room has done this 1,000 times. It knows how you do not have to do anything but let it. Some came in on foot with the rain in their hair, and some came up the stair carried half asleep already, and some sat a while on the edge of the bed before they lay down, listening to the slates the way you are listening now. All of them found the same thing you are finding, the same low, warm corner, the same nearness of the rain, the same slow letting go, The room gave it to each of them in turn and asked nothing back, and forgot none of it, and tonight it gives the same to you. You are only the latest of them, and that is a restful thing to be. Nothing here begins with you, and nothing here ends with you. The rain was falling before you came, and will fall after you have gone, and the room kept others before you, and will keep others after, and all you need do tonight is take your turn in the warm, your one quiet night under the eaves, and let it hold you as it has held so many. Under the blankets you are warm all the way through. The bed has been made up deep and soft, the way the inn makes up the high rooms in wet weather, with an extra blanket folded at the foot in case the night turns cold. You have not needed to unfold it. The warmth you have is enough, and it holds you close. The mattress beneath you is deep and even settled to your shape by the simple fact of your lying still on it, giving where you press and holding where you rest. There is a coverlet over the blankets, an old quilted thing worn thin and soft as cloth gets only with long use and much washing, and it lies over you light and warm, following the line of you from your shoulders down to your feet, tucked close along both your sides. The bed itself is a low wooden one, an old frame of plain dark timber, broad and steady, set close into the lowest corner under the slope. It does not shift or sound when you settle. It has stood in this corner so long that it has become a part of the room, as much a part of it as the beam or the boards, and it holds you now without the smallest give or creak, the way a thing holds you that has held sleepers past counting and grown sure of the work. You lie in the middle of it, well within its edges, with the slope coming down on the one side and the deep, soft warmth of the made bed all about you. The sheets are smooth and cool where you have not yet warmed them, and warm already where you have, and the line between the two grows fainter as you lie still, the warmth spreading out slowly from you into the bed and back again, until there is no cool place left anywhere that you can find. The linen is good and plain, washed soft, ironed smooth, smelling faint and clean of the linen room 3 floors down where it was folded and put by, of lavender, of cupboard wood, of air dried indoors on a wet day. The pillow is soft beneath your head. It smells faintly of the linen room, of lavender, and of clean air, and it gives just enough under you and no more. Your head settles into it. Your cheek rests easy. There is nothing pressing on you anywhere. You let your arms lie heavy at your sides. You let your hands open. You let the small of your back settle down into the mattress, and your hips, and the backs of your legs, all of you sinking the smallest amount further into the warm, the way you do when there is nowhere you need to be. Above you the rain goes on over the slates. It is the nearest sound in the room, nearer than your own breathing almost, and yet it cannot touch you. There is the roof between you and it, the old slates and the dark beam and the pale plaster, and you are under all of that, tucked into the lowest corner, dry and warm and held. That is the heart of it, in a room like this. The rain is so close. You can hear every soft run of it on the slates a handbreadth overhead. And it cannot reach you. It falls and you lie beneath it, and the nearness of the rain you cannot reach is one of the kindest feelings there is. It is the feeling of being kept. There is a snugness that comes only from a low, close roof and a wet night beyond it, a snugness you cannot get in a wide, grand room with the weather far off. Here the shelter is near enough to feel. The slope leans in a hand's width over your face. The slates carry the rain a hand's width further, and every soft run of water overhead tells you again where the warm ends and the wet begins, and that you are well on the inside of that line, deep on the inside, in the warmest fold of the whole house. Somewhere far below, the inn goes on with its quiet night, A door closes gently. A stair creaks once and is still. The faint warmth of the kitchen below rises up through the old house and finds its way even here, to the top room under the roof, so that the air around you is mild and easy. The sounds of the inn reach you thinned and softened by all the floors between, the way sounds do when they have climbed a long way up through an old house. You cannot make out what they are, and you do not need to. They are only the small night sounds of a place that is looked after, a place where someone is awake below to bank the fires and turn the lamps low and see that all is well. You can rest in the middle of that, knowing none of it is yours to tend. Far down at the foot of the house there is a fire still banked in the kitchen hearth, low and red and quiet, and its warmth has been rising through the inn all evening, floor by floor, up the stairwells and along the landings, gathering at last beneath the roof where you lie. It is the gentlest warmth there is, a warmth that has traveled a long, slow way to reach you, soft by the time it arrives, with no fierceness left in it at all. It pools under the slope and stays, and you breathe it, mild and even. The chimney from that hearth runs up somewhere through the body of the house, and a little of its warmth comes through the old brick into the walls of the high rooms, so that even the plaster near you is not cold to the air. The room is warm through and through. The floor and the walls and the slope of the ceiling warm the way a thing is warm that has sat all evening near a low fire. You are inside that warmth on every side, wrapped in it as the inn is wrapped in the rain. The blankets lie smooth and even over you, tucked along your sides, weighing on you just enough to be felt. There is a particular comfort in a little weight like that. The gentle press of good wool holding you to the bed as if to say, "Stay, there is nowhere to go tonight. You let it hold you. You have nowhere to go." The warmth of the bed has spread now into every part of it, into the sheets and the pillow and the very air beneath the slope. The cold is all on the other side of the slates, out in the rain, kept where it belongs. In here there is only the soft, mild warmth gathering close under the low roof, and you breathing slowly in the middle of it. You think of the inn beneath you, floor below floor, all the way down to the ground. The other rooms with their sleepers, the dark landings, the stairs you climbed to get here, narrowing as they went, until the last little flight brought you up to this door, and you at the very top of it all, under the slates, with the rain over your head. You remember dimly and without trying the climb up to this room, though it is already going soft in your mind the way the day goes soft when sleep is near. The wide, low stair from the hall, and then a narrower one, and then the last little flight, steeper and closer, with a worn rope for a rail and the steps growing small. Each turn took you further from the world and nearer to the quiet, up out of the warm noise of the lower house into this still high pocket under the roof. And here the climb ended, at the low door, and there was nowhere higher to go and nothing further to do but lie down. It is a fine thing to be the highest one, not high in any grand way, just tucked up under the roof, as high as the house will let you go, with nothing above you but the slates and the rain and the wide wet night. Everything else is below you and quiet and safe, and you are up here in the warm drifting. And it is a fine thing, too, to have come to the end of a journey. Whatever road brought you here, long or short, you are off it now and will not be on it again tonight. The walking is done. The coming is done. There is nothing left of the day to finish, no further place to reach. You have arrived at the topmost room of a good warm house on a wet night, and arriving is the whole of what is asked of you, and you have done it, and now you may lie still. The going is all behind you. Only the resting is ahead. Out beyond the slates, the country lies dark and wet for miles. The fields and the lanes and the far hedgerows all under the same soft rain. You do not have to picture any of it clearly. You only feel it out there, the whole quiet, rainy night spread around the inn, and the inn drawn up snug within it, and you drawn up snug within the inn, one warmth inside another, down to this small, low room where you lie. The lanes are empty now, running dark and wet between the hedges, with the rain standing in the ruts and the puddles holding the gray of the sky. No one is out on them. No one is coming. The roads have gone over wholly to the night and the rain, and that is well, for everyone who is traveling them has come in already, in at some warm, low door like this one, and lain down, and you among them, the last of them, the highest of them, up under the eaves. The fields beyond the lanes lie soaked and still, the grass bowed under the wet, the trees standing dark and dripping at the field edges, and far off the low hills lost in the gray of the rain. It is all out there, the whole sodden, patient countryside, breathing its cold green breath into the night, and none of it can reach you. It is held off on the far side of the glass and the slates, a long way down and a long way out, and you only feel the size of it, the calm, wet hugeness of it, making your small, warm room smaller and warmer still by being so large and so far. The beam across the ceiling holds steady. It has held this roof through more rains than anyone could count, through more nights than there are names for. It does not strain. It does not creak. It simply carries the weight of the slates above you easily, the way it always has, and it asks nothing of you at all. You let your eyes move once more to the slope of the roof above the bed. In the low lamplight, you can just make out the grain of the plaster, the long, faint lines of the laths beneath, the soft places where the years have rounded everything down. It is all very close, and very still, and it leans towards you like a hand cupped over a small flame, keeping the warmth in and the weather out. You could lift your hand and touch the slope if you wished. You do not wish to. It is enough to know it is there, near enough to touch and asking nothing. The roof of your small high room come down close to keep you. The nearness of it is a comfort. The low close ceiling is a comfort. You are tucked under it the way a letter is tucked into its envelope, folded and held and safe. Your eyes go from the slope to the dark line of the beam, and from the beam to the pale square of the window, and from the window back to the bead of the lamp, and there is nothing among them to hold you, nothing that asks to be looked at, only the few quiet things of the room sitting each in its place. The lamp on its worn shelf, the matches beside it, the candle stub and the pewter cup on the sill, the chair against the wall with your coat upon it, the peg and the hook on the shut door, the rug by the bed, and the spare blanket folded at the foot. You let your eyes pass over them once, slow and easy, naming none of them, and then you let your eyes grow heavy. The rain shifts a little, softer now, a little further off, as though it too were settling for the night. The runs across the slates grow gentler. The drip at the eaves slows. The whole great sound of the rain over the roof eases down into something quieter, something you could fall asleep inside, and you begin to... The rain steadies. It finds a slower rhythm on the slates, softer now, and you find your breathing settling near to its pace, in and out. The rain over the roof, your breath in the warm, the two of them together, slow and even, with no need to match exactly, only to keep each other gentle company in the dark. The lamp burns lower still. The gold on the ceiling dims to a soft brown glow. The slope of the roof above you fades a little into shadow, and the dormer window is only a paler gray square at the foot of the bed now, with the rain still threading down it, slow and slow. You let your eyes close. There is nothing left to look at that your closed eyes cannot hold just as well. The slope of the ceiling, the dark beam, the little window, The rain on the slates? You carry all of it behind your eyes now, soft and dim, and it stays with you. Behind your closed eyes, the room is just the same, only softer. The slope still leans in close above you. The beam still runs dark across it. The little window still holds its gray far down at the foot of the bed. Nothing has gone anywhere, nothing needs to. You have only let the lamplight go and kept the room, and it lies around you in the dark exactly as it lay in the light, warm and low and near. The rain falls on the slates above you, a handbreadth above you, and you warm beneath. The roof holds, the beam holds, the little room holds you in its low corner, and there is nowhere else you need to be. You breathe in the cool, clean smell of the rain. You breathe it out again. You let your shoulders settle the last small way down. You let the bed take all of your weight, every last part of it, and the warmth comes up around you and stays. Above you the rain, below you the quiet inn, and you between them, high under the roof, dry and warm and kept. The rain on the slates, so near, so soft. You cannot reach it, and it cannot reach you, and there is nothing kinder than that tonight. The slope of the roof comes down close above you. The beam runs dark across it. The little window holds its gray and wet, far off now, far off and dim. You are warm. You are held. The rain goes on. The rain on the roof, the warm of the bed, the low closed ceiling and you beneath it, drifting now, drifting. The slate's a handbreadth above you. The lamp burned low, the door shut and latched and quiet. The rain over the slates, a handbreadth above you, and you below it, safe and warm and slipping down into sleep. The roof holds the rain, the bed holds you, the warm goes all the way through. The rain runs soft on the slates. The eaves drip slow below. The little room keeps you the way it has kept so many, the way it knows how. The rain on the slates, the warm beneath, the roof holding, holding all night long. And the rain goes on, soft over the eaves, soft over the high small room, soft over you where you lie warm and kept and very nearly asleep, under the rain you cannot reach. The slope above you, the beam across, the window dim and gray and far. The rain on the slates, the warm of the bed, the low roof close above. The rain on the slates, the warm beneath, the roof holding. Soft and slow and near. The rain goes on,